があって隠す気のない隠し味がよく効いてるわね。辛いけどすっごい美味しい。このスープにつけたら何でも美味しく食べられちゃいそう。だってさ、どうする？美味しく食べられるかチャレンジしてみる？
Jeez, Kyoko, what's wrong with you? Using hot pot as an excuse to violate consent. That's messed up. You know, as a man in my 30s, I sometimes forget how savage and mean teenagers are to each other. You watch any high school drama and wave it away with, well, it's a drama, so it's gotta be exaggerated. But then, I am reminded with all the cyberbullying articles out there that bullying is a rampant issue. Then it got me thinking about how, as people, we tend to look the other way about serious subject matters that has brought so much harm to young people. It only gets worse as it is guised with a cute girl medium like D4DJ, as it is portrayed as endearing or even cute. The case in point D4DJ character of this phenomenon is Peaky P-Key's leader and vocalist, Yamate Kyoko. Hello and welcome to another Streaming Parson Dig Delight Direct Drive DJ video. And today we are looking at their resident mean girl, Kyoko. She is the definition of a diva, being Yoba Academy's superstar with Peaky P-Key's success and fame. With this popularity comes a notoriety that rears its ugly head from time to time. I have made it no secret in past videos that Kyoko rubs me the wrong way. In fact, I'm going to flat out say it. Kyoko's a terrible person, and if you translate her actions and behavior into the real world, you would think the same. Do not let her cute anime appearance and Aimi's legendary voice distract you from the reality that Kyoko is a bully. When Kyoko first appeared in D4DJ First Mix, she possesses an aura of authority and dominance that demands respect. Her DJ unit Peaky P-Key has been the best unit for years at Yoba Academy, which makes for a good contrast with the amateur happy around. From the perspective of our protagonist Rinku, Kyoko is the queen of the castle that sits on a coveted throne to claim for a fulfilling underdog story. However, this is D4DJ and that is not how transmedia advertising works, because you've got to sell Peaky P-Key music along with happy around music, so you can't make them, you know, fight each other. Keeping true to this notion, Kyoko extends her hand in friendship to Rinku to establish that the story will not take their rivalry as a serious narrative point, so that the audience can keep enjoying the music as opposed to investing in a Rocky-style plot. Even though there are no hard feelings between any of the units by the end of First Mix, there are moments where Kyoko's mean side comes out. When Kyoko and Rinku finally meet in First Mix Episode 7, we learn that body shaming is not beneath her. When Rinku is eating away her sorrows, Kyoko approaches her and upon taking a seat, she looks down at Rinku's plate and asks if her eating is Celebration Part 2. It may be cute to watch a protagonist have eating montages, which is why Kyoko's comment is pretty tame here. At face value, she does not seem all that bad, but Kyoko starts to look bad when Groovy Mix is put into play. As soon as one starts playing Groovy Mix, one finds out that Kyoko is the fat one of Peaky P-Key's 4-girl gang trope. As early as 10 questions for Kyoko, it is burgers everywhere she goes, and she makes it no secret that burgers are always on her mind. The gripe I have with Kyoko is her hypocrisy that makes her fat shaming of others pretty terrible, as she is willing to make fun of others of a vice that she also possesses. In the Midnight Encounter member card story, Kyoko wakes up to her growling stomach. She decides that she's going to check the food stalls and bumps into Photon Maiden's Ibuki looking for a midnight snack herself. Ibuki's shtick is that she's very serious about having a healthy lifestyle, including her diet. This makes the goody two-shoe Ibuki a perfect target, as Kyoko wastes no time poking fun at the health enthusiast having a cheat day. When Ibuki is embarrassed about her midnight snacking, Kyoko coerces her to keep her company. Even though this is used to allow Kyoko and Ibuki to have a heart-to-heart moment, the way that Kyoko goes about it is manipulative. While studies show that children who do not have strong parental influence and care tend to be targeted more often for bullying, and as a result, take out their pain onto others. This, however, is not the case for Kyoko. Kyoko's character story, The True Face of Charisma, shows that Kyoko has both parents at home, whom are involved in her life. Kyoko seems to be close to her father, as they share the same interests, including baseball, as well as imitating him when they chug down a soda. Kyoko's mother enters the scene, reprimanding Kyoko for acting like her father, implying a lack of ladylike behavior. Kyoko immediately gaslights her mother by stating that she is only like this at home, to which she must concede to be true, even though the audience knows how she behaves with her friends. Kyoko's mother then asks her daughter to watch the baseball game in her room, worried that the neighbors will complain about the noise. The father's response is, let him complain, showing that not only is he complacent, but he is an enabler of Kyoko's defiant behavior. Kyoko is quick to bargain with her mother by stating she will help with cooking so that she can continue watching the game. While she appears to be a good daughter helping around the house, she is the sort of teenager who's used to getting her way. Another instance of Kyoko getting her way at home is when she tries asking permission from her mother to go on a summer trip to America. When her mother says no, Kyoko quickly turns to her father to get his permission instead. Being the enabler he is, her father consents to Kyoko traveling to America, which enrages the mother. As she's about to give a final veto, Kyoko uses the pleading eyes with the "Please, Mom" card, to which she apparently can't say no to. Kyoko's actions here are very by-the-books, manipulative, mean girl behavior, in that Kyoko will do what it takes to get what she wants. While it is pretty tame and even endearing in the domestic setting, Kyoko has developed a seriously concerning mentality that bleeds into her behavior outside of the home. Children that receive excessive affirmation often develop an inflated ego. This causes them to expect positive outcomes at increased rates. Inversely, this greatly creates high aversion to unfavorable responses, causing them to act out against any rejection. Youth will often utilize manipulation tactics, such as gaslighting, coercion, or even violence to achieve their desired outcome. In these two instances, Kyoko has utilized coercion and gaslighting to place her mother into unfavorable situations to ensure that she gets what she wants. In both cases, it appears as if reflexive for Kyoko to use such tactics because the reality is that with her high social status and constant affirmation at home, she has become a person who cannot take no for an answer. Kyoko's mother laments that Kyoko is such a child at home, implying her spoiled nature and how she hopes her daughter is not like that in public. However, if no can mean yes at home, no can definitely mean yes in public, with the right manipulation techniques that Kyoko is adept with. This of course means I have to bring up the elephant in the concert hall. Body shaming Rinku and Ibuki is nothing compared to the abuse that Peaky P-Key's DJ Shinobu experiences at Kyoko's hands. When Peaky P-Key was introduced as a unit, they were presented as a bunch of cool and popular girls. However, it would not be right to assume that this cool factor is evenly distributed among the group members, as there is always going to be someone in the Queen Bee squad that's going to be the butt of the joke. In Shinobu's case, it is the trope of despite being the oldest member of the group, she will appear and act the most childish. Her petite physique is the immediate indicator that she will have childish quirks that will be made fun of by her peers. One such quirk is her disliking of bell peppers. This is introduced in first mix, Brand New World, where Peaky P-Key is discussing diet and the need for variety. Kyoko then sticks a piece of bell pepper into Shinobu's face and pressures her to eat it. While Shinobu is clearly uncomfortable, Kyoko persists until Shinobu gives in and eats it. This happens again in all mixes because it's cold, when Peaky P-Key and Happy Around are having hot pot together. Rinku states that a spicy soup broth can make anything taste good, and immediately afterward, Kyoko decides to take a piece of bell pepper and pressure Shinobu into eating it. Now, one would think that Shinobu could just say no to Kyoko feeding her bell peppers, but that wouldn't work for two reasons. The first reason is that her pride would make her not want to appear childish in front of 6 other people, whom are all younger than her. So it is easy for Kyoko to coerce her into doing something she doesn't want to do. The second reason is that Shinobu already knows that saying no would be ineffective, because if she did, Kyoko would resort to using physical force. In the Shinobu member card story, it's the thought that counts. Shinobu recounts to when Peaky had hot pot the other day. Kyoko uses physical force to pin down Shinobu to force her to eat a bell pepper. Shinobu continuously gives her objections to eating vegetables she doesn't like, and Kyoko in turn persists that Shinobu eats them. One could say that eating bell peppers is not that big a deal, and Shinobu should not be so childish and eat her vegetables. And you would be correct. This is why most people would see Kyoko's argument as being completely fine. However, no amount of telling Shinobu to grow up can justify this use of force. Kyoko's hat trick displays her inability to take no for an answer. To make things worse, this hat trick also displays that after years of knowing each other, and likely being subjugated to Kyoko's forcefulness, Shinobu has developed a learned helplessness. When coming up with a Peaky P-Key essay idea, I was deliberating on whether I was going to talk about Kyoko's bullying or Shinobu's victimhood, as they are two sides of the same coin. I conceded to Kyoko's bullying as I needed to commit in justifying my "Kyoko is a bad person" position. But I have to talk about a core component of Shinobu's victimhood that I like to call the anime's adorable abuse discourse. Anime as a form of storytelling is not afraid to get into sensitive and even touchy subject matter. However, there is a danger in how writers go about such matters. One such danger is how cute girl world animes like D4DJ, in the spirit of keeping things fun and cheery, can minimalize, excuse, or even glorify subject matters that, if converted into real life, are actually horrible. Since D4DJ is transmedia fiction, audiences simply accept adorable abuse as part of the entertainment, putting aside how one might actually feel about these issues. Shinobu's petite stature and childish demeanor is often subject to mistreatment from Kyoko, but is often portrayed as endearing due to the charisma of the abuser. Abusers tend to be charismatic, so that it is easy to divert attention away from their abusive nature, and Kyoko follows suit to that study. What is really messed up is that Shinobu's abuse is treated by others as endearing and cute. all three bell pepper instances reinforce the adorable abuse that Shinobu is subject to. In these scenes, the fact that Shinobu is a victim to Kyoko's coercion is glorified, as other characters cheer and comment on how cute Shinobu is. The cute comments subliminally convince the audience that these interactions are adorable, shifting our focus from the abuse taking place. The adorable nature of Shinobu's abuse only fuels Kyoko's bullying nature, as what the cheers and cute comments do is give positive reinforcement, encouraging more of this behavior. These scenes are troubling because if Kyoko has known Shinobu for years, then she should be able to empathize with Shinobu and not publicly humiliate her. Kyoko's lack of empathy shows that her bullying behavior stems from narcissism. Typically, most people identify narcissism to when an individual views themselves too highly. But there is another side that Kyoko displays when it comes to her relationship with Shinobu. Narcissists willingly disregard the feelings and concerns of others. Throughout Groovy Mix, Kyoko has no problems relating to Esura's concerns with the passage of time as they become second years. She is able to grow a close friendship with Rinku and views her as an equal. Kyoko displays empathy and crossbeat with Saki's desire to spend as much time as possible with the rest of Photon Maiden before they graduate from Yoba. This means that it is not due to an inability to be empathetic, but rather Kyoko is selectively unwilling to be empathetic to Shinobu. What? What the heck? Where did this other pachyderm come from?
Oh, come on!
Fine. You're gonna make me deal with this one too, huh? I see how it is, Bushiroad. I have talked in great lengths in previous D4DJ videos that Groovy Mix and the animes have a history of blatantly contradicting each other. Among those contradictions are how Kyoko can be nice to people, like Shinobu in Groovy Mix, whereas in the anime, Kyoko's a lot meaner to her. Out of all the problems that come from these contradictions in their writing, some D4DJ writer attempted to give Kyoko a get out of hell free card in regards to her abusive behavior. If this card is accepted, then my entire argument is invalidated, so I have to address it and point out why it doesn't work. The Rinku and Kyoko relation story, What is Love, attempts to downplay Kyoko's inability to empathize with Shinobu, and it is worse than I remember it. Apparently, Groovy Mix's answer to why Kyoko is unempathetic is because she is a dunce. Studies show that aside from parental abuse, which isn't the case for Kyoko, low academic performance is a major factor to bullying. What is Love translates this into Kyoko actually being stupid when she has no idea what love is. Her incompetence is displayed as for the sake of the plot, she doesn't do something rational like ask her parents about what love is, considering how much of a daddy's girl she is. Instead, she entertains Noah's idea of reading romance comedy manga, which is just the blind leading the blind, as Noah has no experience with love either. What is Love further stretches this notion, with Kyoko running around with Rinku and having neither of them figure out what love is after watching a romance movie. One would think that as high schoolers, they would at least come to a conclusion of what being in love with the idea of love is. But no, Rinku and Kyoko are portrayed as being not smart enough to accomplish this, and it only gets worse.
なんでカラオケ？
リンクちゃん、今から一緒に歌おう。
でも、まだ私、恋が何なのかよくわかってないよ。
いや、そんなことないと思う。さっき椿さんが言ってたでしょ。好きな相手には追いつきたいし、負けたくないって。実は私もリンクちゃんに 本当は負けたくないって思ってるんだ。
京子ちゃんが私に？どうして？
リンクちゃんは私たちのライブを見て自分もやりたいって思ってくれたんだよね。
うん。
私も忍に憧れて DJ の世界に飛び込んだから同じなんだ。だから最初はリンクちゃんにも私と同じ憧れの思いをつなぎたいって思ってたんだよ。
もしかしてクリスマスライブの時に私をステージへ上げてくれたのはそれが理由？
うん。私がステージからリンクちゃんを呼んで一緒にビッグバンを歌ったよね。
そうだね。あの時はすごく興奮したし本当に嬉しかった。
あれからリンクちゃんは私の想像をどんどん超えて成長していった。それも私たちとは全然違うやり方でたくさんの人を笑顔にしていったんだ。だから今の私はリンクちゃんのことを自分のライバルだと思ってる。
京子ちゃんのライバル？
私にとっての憧れだった忍が今では対等なライバルなのと同じだよ。だからリンクちゃんにも私のことをライバルだって思ってほしい。絶対負けたくないから本気で好きになれる。多分恋ってそういうものじゃないかな。
私も京子ちゃんに追いつきたい。今はまだ横に並べるかもわからないけどそのうち絶対に追いついてみせる。ライバルだからね。
よかった、そう言ってくれて。じゃあライバル同士一緒に歌おうか。
To add icing to this idiot Sunday, after asking Tsubaki for advice, Kyoko comes up with an absurd answer to what love is. Using Tsubaki's idea of equality in a relationship, Kyoko associates it with rivalry and competition. Her logic is that love is the driving force for one's self-improvement and growth. She then uses this logic to state that her rivalry with Rinku is a form of love. Accepting that Kyoko comes up with this unhealthy idea of love out of a lack of intelligence feels wrong considering her cunning that have been on display. In addition to the manipulation tactics that she's able to use on her own parents, the anime makes it a point to show that Kyoko is very intelligent, not only in her lyricism, but she is sharper than a vibranium scalpel when reading people's movements and emotions. When Kyoko thinks of Shinobu, Renku, or Tsubaki in What is Love, she thinks of them as means to grow as a musician, which is not how one should view people, especially in the context of love. That's right, Groovy Mix's attempt to make Kyoko appear unintelligent backfires, as Kyoko's conclusion of love in this setting exemplifies her narcissism. In defining love this way, Kyoko only understands love as long as it serves her as opposed to serving others. This warped way of thinking is why Kyoko has no problem disregarding others' feelings to do harmful actions in order to receive her perceived positive outcome. In Kyoko's mind, her love for Shinobu allows for the violation of consent so she can improve Shinobu's health, one bell pepper at a time. This is just so wrong, and let's be honest, if you saw these exchanges backed up with this sort of logic, would you be okay with that? Probably not. Which is why Kyoko is a terrible person. At the end of the day, D4DJ is just transmedia. But one should not shake off the sort of things that are excused just because it is cute girl world anime. Kyoko's ability to utilize her popularity and charisma to get her way overinflates her ego. She acts as if she has a free pass to treat others any way she wants to. In the right circumstances, she is manipulative at best and abusive at worst, but her charm can misdirect others to believe that those actions are adorable. To top it off, it is not like Kyoko is socially damaged or psychologically traumatized to trigger such behavior, but willingly disregards Shinobu's feelings for her own self-serving entertainment. Kyoko is a bully for the sake of being a bully, and there is no justifying it.
嫌だって絶対に食べないからね。
もうそれは散々聞いた。さっさと食べちゃいな。ピーマンは体にいいんだよ。
食べなくても死なないでしょ。
そうだね。けど全く野菜を食べないのは大問題だよ。毎日毎日曲作りとゲームで夜更かし、食べるのは携帯食にサンドイッチ、エナドリばっかり。忍の野菜嫌い、本当に前から心配してるんだからね。肌にも悪いよ。
肌ってあんた。
何より早死にされたら困る。ほら食べて。食べるまで絶対にどかないからね。
ああもうわかった。食べるからどいて。
ほんと？やったね。
やったねじゃないっての。